Could somebody please make it make sense?
Hey everybody, welcome to A Pop of Culture. I'm your host, Esoteric and Facetious, and this is A Pop of Culture, which is my video essay podcast where I speak on pop culture, social justice, and the human experience from a Blaque, bisexual linear perspective. Everything, and I mean everything I say, should be taken with a grain of salt, as I'm simply a recent college grad with access to a recording device and the internet. With that being said, my shouldn't be your sole reason to critique my views unless it's truly relevant. If you disagree with anything I say, let's have a civil conversation in the comment section below. Before we get into the topic of this video, which is pet peeves I have with dating apps, I want to advertise my cover channel, A Pop of Culture Sings, where I sing throwback R&B, contemporary R&B, pop music, whatever I'm feeling, whatever you're feeling. So if you want to be down like Brandy, if you're down with the click, and if you're not down with my click, RP Aaliyah, then definitely feel free to check that channel out. Now let's get into the topic of this video, which is my pet peeves with dating apps. One more thing. Let me know how you like this backdrop. I tried the gold one, but I think I like this one a little bit better, but let me know. I did the gold one in another one of my recent videos, so if you haven't seen it, check that one out. It was the one on stop using others when having social justice conversations. I like this one a little bit better, but let me know. And the actual last thing before this topic, thanks to everyone who supported my last 𝑭𝒐𝒍𝒍𝒐𝒘 video, my Michelle Obama moment. Thanks for the support. He was saying some vile things, but it was really nice to see people actually showing up for me and really rocking with my work and what I was trying to do. And I hope some of y'all stick around to see the brand I have and the things I have to say. So let's get into it. So as a young person who is open to love and relationships and all of that, I have been on the dating apps, and I wanted to just talk about some of my pet peeves with dating apps and things people do on dating apps, because I know I'm not the only one who can relate to those things. So let's get into it. I'm trying to diversify my content, do different topics, and not just be the 𝑭𝒐𝒍𝒑 guy. So let's get into it. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your pet peeves. Let me know if you agree with any of these in the comment section below. Let's get into it. So my first pet peeve when it comes to dating profiles is low quality profile pictures. And why is this a pet peeve of mine? I feel when you're trying to do something in life, including dating, you should set yourself up for success and present yourself in the best light. And I just personally feel if you're somebody who can't even put yourself together enough for a few pictures, I just question if you'll be able to put yourself together for dates and holidays and formal events. I feel we all know what a popping Tinder profile looks like. And here's my thing. If you are a user on the app, you see profiles with quality pictures, whether it be portrait mode, whether it just be quality lighting, whether it be golden hour. I don't think it takes a lot to pull together a few quality pictures of you. And for me, I'm not somebody who's all about the looks, but I do feel no matter how you look like, it is a red flag if you can't even put together 2 to 3 photos of you in decent outfits with a nice haircut, with yourself put together. They don't have to be professionally taken, but we all have phones. I just also feel like that's just a bad optics, because if you're not even going to put yourself together to try to entice me to swipe on you, then are you ever like, is this the best I'm getting? You know what I mean? Like when people talk about dating and meeting people, a lot of the times they say you're meeting somebody's representative for the first few months, for the beginning of the relationship, or for the beginning of getting to know them. And as you get to know them better, you're actually meeting that real person. And so my thing is, your dating app is supposed to be a representative of you, what you have to offer, etc. So if your photo is you with a neck beard and poor lighting, what can I expect when I see you? Or if it's you with your hair looking a hot mess, is that what I'm supposed to expect? There's no excuse in 2021. When smartphones have good quality cameras to be out here looking any kind of way. If you're looking like you just rolled out of bed, if you're not even gonna try, I don't feel like that's the approach you should have for dating. You should have the approach of, I want to impress this person and show that I can be put together, that I look good, etc. So that's a pet peeve of mine, because I just feel like when you're not putting your best foot forward, it just makes me question your intentions. Are you gonna try it all? Like, are you gonna try it all in anything if you can't even do the bare minimum of a flattering photo? Like I said, I'm not somebody who's just all about the looks. I'm also about the personality and all the other stuff. But it's like, at the end of the day, you kind of have to adapt to whatever environment or setting you're in. And I feel on dating apps, part of the way that you appeal to people is through the photos. That's like half your profile. And it's not even necessarily about how attractive you are. It's more so about putting yourself together, because you could be someone who's extremely attractive but have a dim photo or an unflattering photo or an unflattering angle or not have your hair put together. So I feel like it's not even really about how objectively attractive you are. It's more so about putting the effort in, because you could be someone who's less quote unquote conventionally attractive, but your photos, your outfits, everything's flattering, everything's put together. Versus you could be someone who could be a model and still have yourself looking a hot mess. I feel you should put some effort in, and that may just mean going out during golden hour and taking a few pictures. That may mean whenever you're dressed up for a wedding or for prom or for formal or whatever you're doing, you take a picture. Whenever you have a fresh haircut, or you got that new install in, or you got your braids in. I feel when you're not putting that effort in, it's hard for people to really take you seriously. It's like if you have a do-rag on in your headshot. That's not necessarily putting out the image you may want. The second pet peeve I have with dating apps is people who act like they're ashamed of being on a dating app. People who have in their bio, let's say we met at church, or let's say we met here, or let's say we met there, at any place other than the dating app. Now, I will say this is something I feel that's tied to identity. And what do I mean by that? As a bi person, I've noticed when it comes to straight dating, Tinder is seen as more of a hookup app. Whereas within LGBT dating, Tinder's seen as more of like the serious dating app. So I do get that. If you're someone from a more conservative background, you may want to have a prettier answer for where you met rather than Tinder, because people associate Tinder with hookups. So you may want to say, oh, we met at church, or oh, we met there. But I also feel like that annoys me too, because I feel like that's a lot of respectability politics. There's no shame in online dating. I get why if you associate Tinder with being a hookup app, you might want to distance yourself from that, especially depending on your upbringing and your view of apps like Tinder. You may not want people to hear that you met someone on Tinder because you don't want to be associated with hookup culture. But I also feel like saying stuff like that contributes to stigma of online dating. This idea that you have to be ashamed of meeting someone on Tinder. Online dating is very popular, and most people are meeting people through online dating. Maybe that wasn't the case 5 to 10 years ago, but it is very prevalent now. And I feel when you put things in your bio, like, let's say we met here, let's say we met there, it contributes to the idea of online dating is not a valid way to meet people. And that's just a pet peeve of mine, because the more we shame people for online dating, the less comfortable people are going to be to pursue relationships online. And I feel like online is a better option for a lot of people because there's more options. If people are only interacting with the people that are around their work or their apartment or home, they're going to have way less options, especially if they're not necessarily the most conventionally attractive people. It's annoying to me that people add the stigma to online dating of, oh, let's say we met here, let's say we met there. I get why some people do it, but it's annoying because I feel it adds that stigma where people who might be best suited for online dating are ashamed to do it because they keep seeing this, oh, let's say we met here, oh, let's say we met there. So I feel you shouldn't contribute to stigma of online dating because there's nothing wrong with online dating. Another pet peeve I have is people who will say things like, oh, I'm barely on here, follow me on Instagram. The main reason why that annoys me is because I feel it's a way to get followers. But the second reason why it annoys me is because I also hate the idea of I'm barely on here. People want to be on these apps and meet people. That's the reason why people are on here. So the reason why I dislike this is because I hate that kind of hard to get, like, I want to be here, but I don't want to be here. Like, I want to be here trying to meet people, but I'm too cool to admit it. I feel like people will say that, oh, I'm barely on here, to try to come off cool and like, oh, I'm not a try-hard. Like, oh, I don't really care. But it's like, it's clear they do care because that's why they're on here and that's why they're engaging in this way. For me, I just hate that type of vibe. If you're on a dating app, be proud of being on a dating app. Don't half-ass stuff. If you're going to be on a dating app, commit to being on a dating app and don't be ashamed about saying that you're looking for something if you are looking for something. I hate that vibe of, oh, like I just kind of ended up here. I hate people who do that. Just own your shit. It's like if somebody went to a single mixer in the area and they're kind of like, oh, I don't even know how I got here. I don't even know what I'm doing here. I'm just so crazy. I just do crazy things. It's like, we know why you're here, but you don't want to say why you're here because you don't want to be vulnerable and open and honest about the fact that you're looking for something. And I feel like you're locking yourself from that when you put yourself on this like, oh, I'm barely even here, I barely even checked this profile. Because that tells me if you're barely even checking your dating profile, you probably aren't that serious about it. And that's not to say that that's everybody, but it's just to say if you're barely even checking it, then it's like you're not that invested, or you're implying that you're not that invested. So I just don't really like that behavior because I feel like people say that to come off more cool than they actually are, or as a way to drive traffic to their Instagram. I'm not a big fan of that because, one, I feel if you're not that interested in meeting and interacting with people, you shouldn't even be on a dating app in the first place. Now, I will say some people use Tinder as a hookup app, so if that's why they're on there, that's fine. But I feel like people will put on their profile that they're interested in dating people, but they'll also do that whole I'm barely even on here thing because they want to seem cool and like, oh, I'm not a try hard, like I don't try too hard, like I'm the cool person and I don't want things too much. And I feel people need to get over that. You're not going to gain anything in life by playing it cool. I mean, sometimes there is a time and place to play things cool and not show all your cards, but I feel like when you're swiping through profiles, nobody wants to see that, oh, I'm barely on here, because I feel like it just comes off as like a weird wannabe flex of like, I'm barely on here, I'm like too cool for school. But it's like, if you're barely on here, then I feel like most people are going to perceive that as you're not that interested in pursuing things with people. So I feel like the aim of it, which is to add mystique and mystery, comes off as you're too cool for school. And it's like, if you're too cool for a dating school, then no one's gonna want to date you. And I mean, people could post that for different reasons. What I'm saying is not the gospel, but these are just the vibes I get. Another pet peeve I have when it comes to dating profiles is people who will say that their friends made the profile or stuff like that. And this is just another thing that comes with people not wanting to take agency over themselves. If you can't even sit down and make a dating profile, I'm not trying to date you, because I don't think your friend should have to make you a profile. Take agency over your own life. Ooh, my roommate made this, or ooh, my made this. Like, make your own stuff. Like, I just really dislike people not wanting to take agency, because I personally feel if you can't even fill out a dating profile, you're not ready to date. You're not ready to put yourself out there. So I just hate that like someone else did this for me. I will say I do think there's nothing wrong with somebody having somebody else make their profile, because sometimes other people can sell us in a better light, if that makes sense. Like, if you're a man and you have a female friend make your profile, I think that's good, because a woman knows what women are often looking for in men, and vice versa. You as a man may have a profile that may not necessarily be suited to women's interests. So I can see someone having a friend make their profile so that they can kind of sell their friend in a certain way. And what I mean by that is, of course, like knowing how to market their friend in a way that's appealing to that demographic that they're targeting. But I do hate that whole idea of, oh, my roommate made this for me because they said I need to get out more. Like, no, if you want to date, you make your own profile. Like, you take agency over your own life and destiny. I just hate that. And it's just a pet peeve of mine. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but it's just a pet peeve of mine, because it's just like, I don't like when people want to half-ass stuff of like, I want to be here and engage with people, but I don't want to make my own profile and like take agency over my own destiny. Like, that's just a pet peeve of mine. Another one, this is a minor one, but I hate when people put memes in their dating profile pictures, because I just feel like, I get memes are part of some people's personality, like they like memes and stuff like that, but I feel like you should put pictures of you. I feel like you could put pictures of you and kind of implement memes in them, but just like 3 pages of memes or a picture of your dog without you in it. I get your dog's a part of your life, or your memes are a part of your personality, but I just feel like there's a way to implement that without just making a whole picture memes, especially when the first picture is a meme. Because I feel like some people hide behind memes, or they'll hide behind their pets or stuff like that. And I just feel like, if you are serious about this, if this is something you want, the memes can come later. You could put in your profile description, I love memes, or a meme in there, or a meme on the same picture. For example, you could mimic a Cardi B meme or something, or like put it like you on the top half and then Cardi B on the second half of like your favorite memes or something. But I just feel like I said, put yourself in the best light and put you into it. Don't hide behind your pets. Don't hide behind your best friend made this and all this other stuff. Those are just pet peeves of mine. Another thing too that I don't like is self-depreciating in your dating bio of like, LOL, I have no self-esteem, or LOL, I'm so awkward. There's nothing wrong with having issues. We all have issues or struggles or things we go through, but I feel like you should know how to market yourself. And even if you have anxiety, even if you are awkward, those are not your only personality traits. You're more than your awkwardness. You're more than your lack of self-esteem. And I feel like those are things you should be working on. Sometimes I feel we make things a part of our identity that we shouldn't. You might be socially awkward, but that doesn't mean I am awkward. That means I'm somebody who's working through my social awkwardness. It's a journey that I'm on, that I'm working through. But when you just say I am awkward, that makes it where that's who you are. You may be awkward sometimes, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's who you are and who you'll always be. And I feel like sometimes people, they do that self-depreciating thing because they're not fully secure in themselves. So they feel like they have to joke about things. So they have to kind of do that whole, I'm so awkward, I'm so weird, I'm so this, I'm so that. And I feel like there's a difference between owning like, sometimes I'm socially awkward, and making that your identity and making that a selling point to you. If there are things you're working through, that's fine. But everyone has positive attributes or traits that they can share with people that they're interacting with. And I feel sometimes people, they just make that so much of a part of their identity that they shouldn't. Your identity should be in your strengths. You should be aware of your weaknesses, but those shouldn't be the things that you tell people first. And I just feel like that comes from people not fully knowing themselves and understanding themselves. And I don't even know, maybe just this weird pity thing of like, I'm so awkward and weird, and like, pity me, and like, you should be with me because I'm weird. Like, I don't know. It's a very weird vibe, because it's like, I don't know how people expect you to respond to that. Like, oh, I'm awkward and weird and I have no self-esteem, lol. Like, there's a very clear line between self-awareness and self-depreciation. And I think people think that being raw and honest is being self-depreciating when they're two distinct things. I think being honest about the fact that you're on a journey could be something that's really cool. Like, I'm passionate about mental health. I'm working through my journey. I've gotten better. But like I said, not everything needs to be put in the profile. Like, put your strengths in there. Put what you want people to see. And that doesn't mean put perfection in there, but that doesn't mean show all your weaknesses. Like, I think there's a very clear balance, and I think some people just aren't aware of that balance. And here's the bonus one. I hate, as a Black queer man, when I see other Black queer men who act like to be masculine on a dating profile, that means showing no emotion. Like, people smile, people laugh, people cry. And I feel like some people are always trying to project this image of being a hard and tough man, a real nigga, like all of that type of stuff, that I feel in their profiles, they just don't even know how to show the whole person. Because I want to be with someone who I can laugh with, who I can be happy and sad with. Like, I don't want to be with someone who's just so hard all the time. And it's kind of sad. Like, I feel like some Black queer men feel like they have to always project this image of masculinity, where people I've met who I know have a range of emotions, who are fun to be around, always put this hard image on. And I'm not attracted to that. Like, no one wants to be with someone who's hard and tough and rough and tough all the time. Show all of you. Don't just show this image that you think other people want. Can y'all relate? Do you agree? Do you disagree? What are your dating profile pet peeves? So those are just a few pet peeves I have when I come across dating profiles that I don't like. Love y'all. Bye bye. See y'all in the next one. Like this video if you like this video. If you made it to this point in the video, comment a thumbs up emoji below, or a still here if you are still here. Subscribe if you want to see more, and make sure to hit that bell so you're the first to know when I upload new content. I upload new content every week. And if you're enjoying yourself, and why wouldn't you be enjoying yourself? To the left, there's a playlist of all my video essay podcasts. I have 24 and counting. In the center is a button to subscribe if you just haven't had a chance to subscribe and you would like to. And to the right is a playlist of all of my covers and parodies. So if you are wanting to check those out, feel free to do so. And if you want to support me, if you want to support the show, first and foremost, a non-financial way you can support is just through sharing this video. I can make the thumbnails, I can, make the titles, I can do the tags and do keyword research. One of the best ways that I can grow my brand is through y'all sharing this content with other people who like this type of content, because I nor you can control the algorithm, but I can control the quality of the content I make, and y'all can, if you enjoy the content, share with people who can like it, so that way, if y'all are feeling it, it's getting put out there, whether, the algorithm favors it or not. Somebody's gonna see it because you resonated with it and you resonated with me, and now you're sharing it with other people. So if